You know, it's funny. Found these verniers in there and was thinking, oh, they're really a cheap pair, and who really cares about them? And funny thing is, I didn't even notice it at first, but there's no numbers, there's no scale on this. This must have had a scale that was glued on with some kind of adhesive to this, and I'm sure that probably also had the manufacturer's name on it. There is a part number on the back here, C319464. I wonder if I googled that. Not that I really care, but it's funny, you know, for a cheap pair, they click closed kind of nicely. So I was just about to think how worthless these were, and then it occurred to me, I wonder if I'm lucky enough that, oh no, I guess not. I was going to say, I wonder if I'm lucky enough that this is the same size thread as the lock that's missing on my my other pair of Mitutoyo calipers. But look at that, this isn't even the same design. This is just a knurled nut that screws onto a stud. So that's a completely different deal there. Oh well. So I went back the next day because that Bunton, was that the name of the company? That lawnmower was calling my name. So ended up buying that for $45, and then while I was there, I picked up a couple other items that I had. A couple items I had seen the first day I was there and kind of ended up passing on, and then a couple of the other ones I ended up actually snagging that were new arrivals, so to speak. Found this just laying around. First, I had no idea what it was. So I was like, well, that's kind of weird. Why is it got a tip like that on it? And then I unscrewed it, pulled it out, and realized it's a scriber. Looks like maybe it's carbide tip. And it was just apparently turned around for storage purposes that way. But it definitely feels razor sharp. So that's actually a pretty nice scriber. And on the back side here, that is a magnet. And it's got a pretty hefty clip on it for your shirt pocket. Well, all I can make out on here is General 88 CM USA. So I think that's the General tool or General hardware, or maybe US General. I forgot. I know there's a company that's got a name like that. It may have changed over the years. But it's actually a pretty nice little scriber, and he was happy to get $1 for it, and I was happy to give $1 for it. Oh, let's go macro on this baby. Then we found another toolbox I picked through, and ended up, I found this 16-ounce rubber mallet. Looks brand new. Craftsman 10-inch adjustable wrench. Looks like a Stanley. No, that's a Craftsman. Craftsman regular blade screwdriver, decent sized one. Big old honking Phillips head. No name. Oh no, here it is. Can't quite make it out. It looks like it says HT Company, Phillips number 4. There's a Stanley, handyman. Another big cold chisel there. This one here, more of a drift. And an 8-inch round Fuller file. Actually, that looks more like a rasp. Well, anyways. So I gave $10 for that pile of tools. This is one of the first items I bought when I got there. This I got for $5. This says AMP Special Industries Marine Electrical Repair Kit. The box is a little rusty, but you know, it's not complete by far, but there's quite a bit of electrical connectors in there. So that That's worth $5 to me any day of the week. Yeah, and just to show you that there's no telling what I might end up just buying for no apparent reason on one of these outings. This is exactly how I found this stuff. He said this came out of a truck driver's house that they had cleaned out based on the other stuff they had found. No idea if it works. It's Cobra 19XS. Got a mag mount antenna, but the whip is missing. So that's pretty much garbage. These old Cobras, when they work, they're good little CB radios. Or they can be. This is I don't know how big of a sledge this is. I picked this up on day 1, didn't end up buying it, and then on day 2 it was still there, so I decided to give a couple bucks for it. I don't have one this size, I don't think. The head's a little loose, but it's not coming off, so. And the handle's not cracked, it's a hickory handle, so. And then I found a box with some fishing stuff in it, and most of it was junk lures, but then this one early Fred Arbogast jitterbug was in there, so I gave $1 for it. I'm a big fan of these Arbogast jitterbugs. This is probably the lure that I loved the most when I was younger. Go out early morning or evening with a jitterbug and my pole and nothing else. That's pretty much all I needed. Looks like I won't be testing this radio anytime soon because unfortunately what wasn't in the box is the special size plug that goes on here, but that's an easy enough find off of eBay or other places online. So getting back to this antenna base, when I was looking at it, I was like, oh well, I wouldn't really care about that antenna anyways, but it occurred to me that if we just cut the cable off of this thing, we've got a good magnet, and we've got a threaded stud sticking up out of the top here. So who's to say that isn't possibly the makings of an indicator stand or something? Or I'm actually wondering whether or not that's the same thread as what's in the bottom of the camera. How do you like that? Little camera stand. Oh, unfortunately, can't angle it really. Well, we'll find a use for that. On day 1, I had gotten there right when they were opening up in the morning, and they were just pulling stuff out, and they were letting me walk around and look through boxes and stuff. And I came across this little cardboard box, and it had these 2 unopened, brand new, good-sized. These are 8-ounce 3-in-1 oils, and then this one, which I think is open, with the. This has got the little spout deal hose that you can pull out, which is kind of neat. Anyways, I don't know how much. That's actually pretty full. But anyways, these 3 were in a box, and then I saw this just sitting there on the shelf. It's open, about half full. Bar, chain, and sprocket oil. I'm always using that. So I gave $5, offered $5 for those, and they were fine with that. So was I. And then I saw this stoneware jug, and it's a nice size. It's a small one. Normally they're gallon size of the most common ones I remember coming across. And unfortunately, it has no markings on it as far as a manufacturer, and it has no design on it to make it, a really marketable one. It's kind of a plain Jane one, but I didn't see any cracks in it. And, there's some old chipping around the lip there, but that's pretty worn. So that indicates that that's early. And I think there was a glaze pop on here somewhere I saw right there. And again, by the looks of it, that's been there a while. Looking at the bottom of it, has all the indications that that's an early one, not a reproduction. So I asked, well, what are you going to get for that? He said, I don't know, $2. I said, oh yeah, sure, I'll take that for 2. And I said, well, I'll tell you what. And I spotted this cleaver, and I said, how about 5 for the cleaver and the jug? And he said, sure. So I got this cleaver for $3, and my wife kind of looked at me strange when I was excited about this cleaver, but I said, I said, this is a Cutco, and I remembered hearing that name before. And I know, it says it right here, it's a Cutco of Olean, New York, made in the USA. And I know that a lot of this, many of these US-made cutlery products are pretty expensive. So, boy, was I surprised when I checked out on eBay what these sell for. So there you can see right there, Cutco, Olean, New York. And I'll tell you, the blade doesn't look like it's got any damage on it, and it is sharp. And it's a little dirty. That should clean up nicely. It's got this white plastic handle, which I found out they call pearl, even though it's not really pearl. You see it's a quality made, riveted through the handle. It's got a little bit of dirt there on the handle. Don't know if that's going to clean up. But, and then I was looking at the sheath, and it's got a little bit of rust on the chrome of the button right there, but just the way it's stitched and everything, I was like, that almost looks like somebody handmade that just for this. So I thought maybe somebody really loved this cleaver so much that they went through the trouble of hand stitching a custom holder for it. Well, lo and behold, quick search on eBay, found one of these on eBay just the other night, just this holder exactly like this. They want 20 or 30 bucks for it. So this is obviously an original holder for this cleaver. And by the way, the cleaver trades for around $100 used on eBay. So I can imagine what that thing must have cost new. So that was probably the biggest score of all the stuff I got, was this cleaver for $3. And here's an example of an item I took a chance on that I overpaid for. I paid $5 for this because I thought, wow, that's a cool Tonka. I could tell by the front here that it was made to hook onto the back of a toy tractor. And it's anhydrous ammonia. So that's probably something that's sprayed onto a farmer's field. And I thought it had some age to it. Enough age to it that, and since I had never seen one like this before, that maybe it was going to be valuable, even though it's severely sun faded on the top here and discolored. Well, $5 was too much for this. Should have just left it. Found one on eBay the other night, practically in mint condition. I think they're only asking like 20 bucks for it. So I guess that's a bust. I think this is just was left outside in the sandbox, and the sun and the rain and everything got to it and just made it look a lot older than it is, I guess. Hey, anybody watch Breaking Bad? Yeah, so on the first day that I was there, I spotted this old firefighter's helmet, and I was like, oh, gee, it's too bad it doesn't have the placard on the front here that signifies what fire department it came from. Otherwise, it'd be a really nice firefighter's collectible. And I had mentioned to the woman, I said, geez, said even just the way it is, I said, I could easily see having my youngest go as a firefighter next Halloween. This would be a good start. Put the hat on him and give him a heavy coat. So, and then I spotted this full facial respirator. It's a 3M. It's actually a good one. Model 7881S. I'll have to look it up because the funny thing is, I'm a big Breaking Bad fan, and I think this might be the same respirator that those guys used. I know that somewhere in one of the trivia or many fan sites that popped up after that series finished, that somebody probably actually chronicled exactly which respirator they used. So, but I figured, hey, if he wants, he could wear this and go as a firefighter. Even though I know they wouldn't. This wouldn't be for a rescue. This is for, well, I was thinking maybe for painting. if I do some spray painting or something like that along the way, I might want this. And then, so I didn't buy it that day, and then the next day I went back and I couldn't believe it was still there, that nobody who showed up at the yard sale bothered buying it. So I paid, I think, $5 for the pair or something silly like that. She says, yeah, I found the pink things that go in there. And she meant the filters. And they're brand new. So that's pretty cool. Oh, I was just putting some stuff away and I forgot this was also included in one of the tool deals that I got for $5 or $10. This Black & Decker rotary tool, RTX 3-speed rotary tool, 12,000, 24,000, 30,000 RPM. And it's kind of ironic that I got this for like next to nothing, because I just bought that one at the tool store a couple weeks ago. I think I put it away already. But this is actually kind of nice. It's got a nice like ergonomic shape and grip at the end here. And the power switch is down here. It's also pretty quiet on a low speed. And then it's got a rotary switch here for the speeds. So that's medium and then high. So that's a decent little rotary tool. And the collet's there, and it's actually got a little rotary drum sander on there right now. That was just something that was going to go to waste, so I threw it in the pile and got that. And then 2 boxes of these nice big lock washers, more than I'll ever need probably in a lifetime. These actually were in the back of his truck with some other stuff that we pulled out, and so these were wet with snow. They got a little bit of surface rust on them, but they're actually decent quality. Oh, what do we got here? Oh, we got a giant wing nut and a couple of flat washers and that. Most of these are just these big lock washers. So I only got a couple of items left. This is a non-machinist related item, and I just wanted to show this. This is a deal that I came across at the Salvation Army store that I couldn't pass up. This is an amplifier, guitar amplifier. It says Boxer 30 over here, made in Great Britain, and then up here it says Trace Elliott. And I wasn't familiar with this brand of guitar amplifier. And it looked, kind of like a practice amp, but it's a decent size. It's bigger than the last practice amp that I scored. And I ended up inquiring about it because they didn't have a price on it, and so the manager tried to look it up in the inventory and he couldn't find it. So he said, well, I do $12.99 on it. So I said, well, I just want to plug it in and make sure it turns on and everything and smoke doesn't come out of it. And because all the electronics are sold as is at Salvation Army. So I powered it up and it seemed to work, and I didn't have anything I could plug into it, but I turned the volume control up and I could hear a little bit of scratchiness in the volume control and a little bit of hum. So I felt confident that it worked perfectly fine, which it does. Now that I got it back here, I can try it out. Testing 1 2, testing 1 2. And I looked it up online. And this is actually a bass guitar amplifier. And the front here is in really good shape, and electrically it seems to be working perfectly fine. The cloth covering here is really nasty. It looks like this came in out of a really filthy house, and they didn't bother doing anything as far as raising a finger to clean it before they put it out for sale. So you can see how kind of nasty that is. But I only paid $13 for it, so I'm pretty sure I'll be able to resell that, at some point. Probably end up getting between $40 and $60 for it. So here's a look at the back, and the only other issue I could see with it is you can see right here the sheathing on the electrical cord for it is pulled away, so that cord should be replaced. But the thing is that this just uses a standard type of plug like you'd use on a desktop PC. So that's going to be easy enough to replace. I've got a few of these extra cords like this laying around. The only thing that was nice about this one is it's extra long. This seems a little loose, but no big deal. The other thing I thought was really neat was all of these practice amps that I've run across, they've all been cheap Taiwan, made things. This one actually, like I said, it says made in Great Britain on the front of it. And even over here, where the input voltage is spec'd out, it says mains input 75V-A, which is volt amps, which is essentially what they're saying there is, because Ohm's law, voltage times current is watts, without overcomplicating it for AC, RMS, and all that. 115 volts at 650 milliamps, but the mains input is a dead giveaway also. That's a very British term. We don't tend to say that here in America. 50/60 hertz, because over in Europe it's 50 hertz and over here the standard is 60 hertz. Over here, looks like right here, 100V T1 0.6 amps, 115V T1A, and then 230 volts. So I guess they're basically saying that depending on what the input voltage is. So it's interesting. I don't know if they're saying that this thing can run off of 230 volt. I don't know whether or not. I would think you'd have to change some setting inside wiring wise. Also, it looks like maybe right behind here there's a fuse. Well, I'm not going to force it out, but there's actually a fuse symbol right here on this plastic piece. I think that actually pops out and there's a fuse in there. And over in this corner here, we get a little bit of the pedigree. We get the serial number is a 0165, I think, /02104. It's handwritten. And model number is a Boxer 30. So if anybody knows anything about these Trace, what did I say? I almost said Trace Adkins, but I think it's Trace Elliott, right? Trace Elliott amplifiers. Feel free to leave a comment. And there was one other item that I picked up at the Salvation Army that day, and that was a Stetson hat. It looked brand new in the original box with the original packing material. They had $50 on it because the guy working there said the last one of those they had 75 on it and sold it. This one they had 50, and I actually went back a couple days later. I had seen it, and then I kind of didn't think I wanted to pay $50 for it. I was going to wait to see whether or not one of the sale days came on. But the guy working there said that the color of the tag on there would indicate that it wasn't going to come on sale soon. He figured it was going to sell before that. Went back a few days later. This amp had been put out. I bought the amplifier. I saw that the hat was still there. The manager was there who gave me the price on this. And I said, hey, would you guys take $40 for that hat? And he approved that. So I ended up getting the Stetson hat for $40. That's going to be a resale item on eBay, because I had already looked up and seen that those hats trade for around $100 used in good condition, which this one is in excellent condition, because they're just so darn expensive. If you want to buy that hat right now online, from an online retailer, it's over $200. I had no idea that Stetson hats were that expensive, but I guess there's a whole allure and everything that goes with it. This one actually says Stetson Gun Club on the inside, silk. It's kind of cool.